up new? Welcome to all my students in Period 3 with you, Mr. Mohammed Omar. In this video, we are going to make revision about Unit 1 in Algebra second term, its equations. I hope everyone benefits from this video. So let's start. In the beginning, remember the definition of the equation. The definition of the equation. It's a mathematical sentence includes equality relation between two sides. Again, mathematical sentence includes equality relation between two sides. For example, x plus 3 equals 0, or 2x plus y equals 5, or x squared plus 6x plus 5 equals 0, and so on. In this unit, we have three lessons. So, let's make compare between them together. The first lesson, solving two equation. Also in the third lesson, solving two equation. But in the second lesson, solving only one equation. In the first lesson, the two equations of the first degree. But in the second lesson, this is equation from the second degree of second degree. And in the third lesson, the two equations, one of them from the first degree and one from the second degree. In the first lesson, since we have two equations, then we have two variables. So, in two variable. Two variable means we have two unknown. And the second lesson, since we have one equation, then we have only one variable. In one variable. And in the third lesson, since we have two equations, then we have two variable. In two variable. In the first lesson, we have two methods to solve. The first method is algebraically, and the second method is graphically. And in the second lesson, we have also two methods. The first method, algebraically, and the second method is graphically. But in the third lesson, we have only one method to solve, is algebraically. Okay, to understand, let's take example. Example number 1. Find the solution set of the following two equations. Equation number 1, y equals 2x minus 3, and equation number 2, x plus 2y equals 4. Notice that the two equations from the first degree. Yes, the two equations from the first degree, and we have two variables. The first variable y and the second x and y. And we can find the solution set by the two methods. The first method algebraically and the second method graphically. So let's solve together. So let's start with the first method graphically. We know that in this method we should have graph paper. Since we have two equations, then we will write two tables. This is the first table and this is the second table. We know that any table consists of x and y. X and y, x and y. Now in the first equation y equals, so we put any value of the variable x and then substitute in the equation. For example, -1, 0 and +1. But in the second equation x equals, so we put any value to the variable y, -1, 0 and 1. Then substitute about this value in this equation. Okay, let's substitute. 2 times -1 equals -2. -2, -3 equals -5. Yes. 2 times 0 equals 0. 0, -3 equals -3. And 2 times 1 equals 2. 2, -3 equals -1. And in the second table, -2 times -1 equals +2. +2 plus 4 equals +6. Also, -2 times 0 equals 0 plus 4 equal to 4. -2 times 1 equals -2. -2 plus 4 equals +2. Okay, now we will represent this is point on the coordinate plane. Okay, -1, -5. -1, -5. 0, -3. 0, -3. And 1, -1. 1, -1 here. Okay, this is the first table. And the second table, 6, -1. 6, -1 here. And 4, 0. 4, 0 here. And 2 and 1. 2 and 1 here. Now let's make connect between this point. This is the first straight line L1 and this is the second straight line L2. Since L1 intersect with L2 at the point 2 and 1. Look at 2 and 1. Then the solution set of the two equations equals the set of the order pair 2 and 1. Now we are finished the first method graphically. Okay, let's solve with the second method algebraically. In this method, we have two ways to solve. We can solve by substituting method or omitting method. Again, substituting method or omitting method. In substituting method, we take one equation, for example, y equals 2x negative 3, and substitute about the variable y in the second equation as following: x plus 2 open bracket, y equals what? Y equals 2x negative 3. 2x negative 3 equals 4. Now we put this equation in the simplest form. Then x plus 2 times 2 equals 4x negative 2 times 3 equals 6 equals 4. Then x plus 4x equals 5x equals 4 positive 6 equals, yes, equals 10. Then x equals 10 over 5 equals 2. This is the value of the first variable x. Now we will make substitution about this value in the first equation to get the value of the variable y. By substitute in 1. Okay, then y equals 2 times 2 negative 3 equals 2 times 2 equals 4, negative 3 equals 1. Then the solution set equals the set of the ordered pair 2 and 1. 2 and 1. But in the omitting method, we put the two equations in the form: the first equation x, or the second equation x plus 2y negative 4 equals 0. Negative 4 equals 0. And the second equation 2x negative y negative 3 equals 0. And then we try to cancel one of the two variables in the two equations and get a third equation in one variable. So let's try to cancel the variable y by multiply the second equation times 2. So let's write the first equation: x plus 2y negative 4 equals 0, and the second equation 2 times 2 equals 4x, negative 1 times 2 equals negative 2y, negative 3 times negative 2 equals negative 6 equals 0. And then make addition between these two equations. So 1x plus 4x equals 5x. Yes. Look at positive 2y, negative 2y. 2y is an addition inverse to negative 2y. Then they are cancelled. And negative 4, negative 6 equals negative 10 equals 0. Then x equals 2. This is the first value. By substituting about the first value in the first equation, then y equals 2 times 2 negative 3 equals 4, negative 3 equals 1. Then solution set equals the ordered pair 2 and 1. We notice that the first method graphically and the second method algebraically get the same result. 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1. This is the first example. Okay, let's take example number 2. Find graphically the solution set of the equation x squared negative 4x plus 3 equals 0 in interval negative 1 and 5, then check algebraically. So let's start with method number 1, graphically. In this example we have one equation, so we have and we will write one table. And the table consists of x and y. Notice that we write the equation in the form function f of x equals x squared negative 4x plus 3. And we have interval from negative 1 to 5. Negative 1, 0, positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we will substitute about this is number in the function f of x. So f of negative 1 equals negative 1 power 2 equals positive 1. Positive 1 negative 4 times negative 1 equals positive 4. Positive 4 plus 1 equals positive 5. Positive 5 plus 3 equals positive 8. And by using calculator we get the values of the variable y. Now we will represent this is ordered pair in the coordinate plane. Okay, let's represent negative 1 and 8. Negative 1 and 8 here. 0 and 3. 0 and 3 here. 1 and 0 here. 2 and negative 1. 2 and negative 1 here. Okay. 3 and 0 here. 4 and 3. 4 and 3. And 5 and 8. 5 and 8 here. Now let's make connect between them. We get this is curve, and this is curve intersect with x-axis at the point 1 and 3. Then solution set equals the set of 1 and 3. This is the first method. The second method algebraically. Also in the second method we have two ways to solve. The first way is factorization. Factorization. And the second method by using general formula. General formula. Let's start with the first method, factorization. We have studied before in Prep 2 factorizing trinomials. Remember with me, in factorizing trinomials, first of all, we open two brackets. We open two brackets. X squared equals x times x. And now we look at about two numbers whose product equals positive 3 and whose summation equals negative 4. Look at two numbers whose product equals positive 3 and whose summation equals negative 4. Yes, negative 1 times negative 3. Negative 1 times negative 3. Now, if x negative 1 equals 0, if x negative 1 equals 0, then x equals 1. Yes, and if x negative 3 equals 0, then x equals 3. Then solution set equals the set of 1 and 3. This is the first method, factorization. Now, the second method, general formula. Remember with me now the rule of general formula. The rule of general formula is x equals negative b positive or negative square root b square negative 4ac over 2a. Yes, then x equals. Now we should determine the value of b and the value of c and the value of a. Look at this equation. The value of a equals 1 and the value of b equals negative 4. Yes, negative 4. And the value of c equals positive 3. Yes, positive 3. Now, by substituting negative b, negative 4 equals positive 4. Positive or negative square root b square negative 4 square equals 16. Negative 4 times a equals 1 times c equals 3 over 2 times a equals 1. Yes, then x equals 4 positive or negative square root 16 negative 4 times 3 equals 12. 16 negative 12 equals 4 over 2 times 1 equals 2. Now by using calculator we have two results. The first result is 4 plus square root of 4 equals 2. 4 plus 2 equals 6. 6 over 2 equals 3. That's right. And the second result, 4 negative square root of 4 equals 2. 4 negative 2 equals 2. 2 over 2 equals 1. Yes. Then the solution set equals 1 and 3. We notice that by using the two methods, graphically and algebraically, we have the same result. Okay, now let's solve example number 3 in the lesson number 3. Find the solution set of the following equation: y plus 2x plus 1 equals 0 and 4x squared plus y squared negative 3xy equals 1. Okay, first of all, look at the first equation. This is the value of y from the first equation by substitution about the value of y in the second equation. Okay, let's put this equation in the simplest form. Then 4x squared plus, this is called perfect square expression. 2 power 2 equals 4. 4x power 2. This is the first term. And the third term, y power 1 power 2 equals 1. Yes. the first term times second term times 2 equals positive 4x. Okay, negative 3 times negative 2 equals positive 6. X times x equals x power 2. Negative times negative equals positive, yes. And 3 times 1 equals 3, okay. And x times 1 equals x. Okay, equals 1. Okay, 4x squared plus 4x squared equals 8 squared. 8 squared plus 6x squared equals, yes, 14x squared. And 4x plus 3x equals 7x. 1 equals 1. Okay. Then we get 14x squared plus 7x equals 1 negative 1 equals 0 equals 0. Okay, now we can take highest common factor. So the highest common factor equals 7x. Yes, 7x. Then 14 over 7 equals 2. And x squared over x equals x plus 7x over 7x equals 7x over 7x equals 1. Yes, equals 0. Now, if 7x equals 0, then x equals 0. And if 2x negative 1 equals 0, then 2x equals 1, then x equals what? Equals half. Yes, equals half. This is two value of the variable x. By substitution about this is two value in the first equation to get the value of the variable y. Okay, then this is the first equation. Y equals negative 2 times 0 equals 0 plus 1 times negative 1 equals negative 1. This is the first value of the variable y. And the second value of the variable y equals negative 2 times half equals 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 times negative 1 equals negative 2. And this is the second value of the variable y. Again, by substitution about the value x equals negative half, then y equals negative 2 times negative half equals negative 1. Negative 1 plus 1 equals 0. Yes, equal 0. Then the solution set equals the set of the order pair 0 and negative 1. This is the first order pair, and the second order pair negative half and 0. Negative half and 0. Now we are finished the third lesson or the third example. Okay, now we have some remarks. In example number 1, if the two straight lines are parallel, not intersection, then we say the solution set equals phi. And if the two straight lines are congruent, then the solution set equals an infinite number of the ordered pair. This is the first remark. And the second remark in the second example, if the curve intersects with x-axis at one point, only one point, then the solution set equals this is point only. And if the curve not intersect with x-axis, then the solution set equals phi.
Now we are finished our revision of the equation. Thanks a lot for listening and see you later in other videos.